So check this, man. I came across this shit on YouTube with this dude, and he just tried different scenarios and put people in different situations to see how they would respond in different scenarios. So this one is called False Confessions, and it's about interrogation, how people can be persuaded to really say what they didn't do. So they use an Asian girl, a white man, another white man, and a black girl. Guess who folded under pressure? Let's get to it.
Dr. Melissa Rusano is an expert in investigative research, including the process of interrogation and confession.
Tell me about false confessions and why people make them.
In a nutshell, people confess to crimes that they didn't commit because they come to believe that it's in their best interest to falsely confess, and that's really counterintuitive.
Right, because...
How many niggas you think up the road just was like, man, I'm trying to get this shit over with? I didn't talk to niggas be like, man, I know I ain't do it, bitch. I'm gonna cop out to this little 5-piece. I'm only gonna have to do 2. Knowing if you would have stood firm in your game and took them bitches all the way, shit. But at the same time, the system's so fucked up, you might have took them bitches all the way and got flipped.
Confessing is the worst thing to do, right? Like, that's what you need to avoid at all costs.
Yes, when you're not in the situation of being convinced that it's actually your best option.
But that's kind of what I want to do today. I want to see how easy it is to get a false confession from someone. How do I do that?
One way is minimization techniques. You've got to get them to believe that their best option out of this situation to make this end is to confess. You can say, look, I really think it's in your best interest to cooperate. There are other techniques as well, like maximization, right?
Okay.
So they have to believe that if they don't confess...
Pull your pens out, your pads out, take notes, man. Because the bitch giving up some Jews right now, man.
Things are going to be worse, that the punishment will likely be more severe, and so their best option in the moment is to confess to you. One other technique is befriending them, where you're lulling the suspect into
Dirty
a false sense of
motherfuckers.
security.
Don't trust
They
them.
trust you.
Now, what about making a deal?
So police officers are not allowed to make explicit offers of leniency or a deal. So you cannot make any promises, but you can say, look, I really think it's in your best interest to cooperate. You don't have to explicitly say something for the message to be communicated.
With all these tools in mind, I was ready to try to get a false confession.
All right.
Our subjects answered our online ad offering $75 to test a new logic exam for an educational institution. They didn't realize that the institution was fake, and the other participants taking the test were actually actors working for us.
Is a pretty standard release form.
Before the test, participants signed a document stating that they would be under breach
looks
of
scared.
contract if they cheated on the test.
When you work on the individual questions, it's very important that you work alone. Don't talk about what you're doing. Don't share answers. Good luck. See you soon.
The subjects didn't know that there were several hidden cameras around and that we were watching everything unfold from another room. During the testing, the participants and our actors did not share information. At no time did cheating take place.
I'm going to collect these and put them in the database, and I'll be right back to start the next phase. Okay, guys? Thank
Man,
you.
them bitches are playing on your top, but
I
this how the
wore an
bitches play on your
earpiece
top
so
in
that
real
Melissa
life, though.
could guide me during the entire process. A few minutes later, it was time to set up a false accusation.
So we actually might have a problem. I'll need to speak to each of you separately. So James, could you come with
She
me just
looks
outside?
scared as
I'll
fuck.
take these now. Thank you. And Nicole, you can just wait right here. Awesome. Thank you.
You got to give them enough time to plausibly be talking
Believe that I'm
to
talking to
and
Dave.
calling the director.
Them bitches will leave you in that cold ass room so you can gather your thoughts.
You and James both had the same wrong answer for the triangle problem. It looks to me like there was information sharing. Like you guys spoke to one another about the
Nicole,
answer
like,
on
I don't know what you're
probable
talking about, dude.
But we didn't talk at all during the individual prompts. I kept my eyes on my paper because I knew that would probably throw off the result if I looked.
If I just write out here, like, I admit that I shared answers.
I don't remember talking to him at all about like what we were doing individual.
First, I tried to minimize the consequences of confessing.
I really think it's in your best interest.
I really think it's in your best interest to sign this stating that you admit to sharing the information I honestly...
Bro, this shit's so fucking real, bro. Like, I don't know if any of y'all ever been in trouble or anything like that right there, knowing anybody in trouble. But see what he doing right now, even though this shit is just playing around as a prank. Bro, this shit is so law. And like, man, them bitches really would get you out the way on some false shit.
believe that is...
But I did not, look, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. I came here to help.
I understand
and I
what
never
you're
said
saying,
like, hey, there's...
Megan,
Please let me finish, because I don't appreciate like over talking.
Hey, the Asian girl, like, man, you gotta be fucked up.
I had a lot to learn. Next, I tried to maximize the consequences of not confessing.
What we're looking at is possible breach of contract here.
If he comes down here, he's going to be a lot more upset.
If the director has to come down here, he's going to be even more upset and annoyed than he already is.
It did not happen.
Okay.
And I put that on my dad, and I my dad around my neck. So.
On
Once
my
it was
paw,
me
I put that
against
on
her
paw.
family, I lost my chance to get a false confession. I had to become the suspect's friend.
I also understand you're a nice guy, and like sharing information or helping someone with the problem is the nice thing to do. It's what we normally do.
But I didn't share any information, so I can't sign that document.
But I failed to convince this guy to be my friend.
I want you to pay attention to everybody that they interview and try to make them get into a false confession. The whole time he was talking, they was listening and they was processing what he was saying. They wasn't moving off emotional. They was moving off straight logic. Like, my nigga, the shit that you saying ain't even adding up. So he couldn't flip them to do that.
I struck out with all these test subjects. But after my failed attempts, I was ready to put everything I'd learned into my next encounter.
No, why do you want to rob the black girl, man? You already know that's gonna flip her.
And making sure that she sees you as someone
she
who
already
she
nervous.
can trust your advice, and so I would proceed with that kind of approach.
Okay. Going in.
Look how scared she looking.
Thanks for waiting.
No problem.
Look at her.
So, I think we do have a problem. I was looking through your individual questionnaires, and you guys both had the same wrong answer on the triangle problem.
Really?
So it was kind of this weird, like, okay, what's going on? Like, statistically, what are the chances that two people are going to have these very unique answers? So I called the project director to see what to do, because if, this is a sign that information was shared during the individual section, that's a major problem for the study, right?
We didn't look at each other's stuff. That was like, we were like on, like, we didn't ask each other anything.
She was trying to stay firm. She was trying.
We didn't
She was
talk to each other
trying.
the whole entire time, so I don't know how we got the same answer, but I'm like 100% sure that was like the answer that I came up with.
Deja was resolute about her innocence, but I was about to maximize the consequences of cheating should she not cooperate.
But if this was a real interrogation, they would see how nervous she is, and then they'll pressure her with that right there. They'll just put that pressure on there, just play games, play on her top. And that's what they're going to do eventually.
And that's a really big deal, because through this grant, we need to have the integrity of the data, we need to always obey the rules of the experiment, and it could even be a breach of the contract that you guys signed when you came to do this study.
Okay.
Deja now knew what was at stake. My job was to convince her that I had her best interest at heart.
I have to call the director back, right? And I can either tell him, I don't know what's going
Playing on her
can't
fucking top
proceed,
like
you need to
shampoo.
come down here. I don't know who he's going to involve. The easier...
think Sharon was involved though.
All I know is that I can't explain what happened.
Okay.
The easier option is to just document that information was shared. Okay, so if I write out, I admit that
She looking like, I know I did not fucking cheat. But that's how you get coerced into some shit that you did not do. Man, check this, bro. I don't know what the fuck it is when it comes to black people and white people. Not even much on no races, bro. When it comes to white people dealing with black people, it's like black people become hypnotized. It's like, why you think so many niggas red? It'd be the most gangsters nigga. When they get in that room with white people one-on-one, man, them niggas gonna fold like a motherfucking piece of paper.
I shared the answer to...
Look, it ain't a game, babe.
To say that we didn't share answers though?
Look how she's just giggling and playing around and shit. if there was a real scenario, she'll be lost in the sauce. See, and other people, they got mad like, man, you got me fucked up.
So I'm like, I don't know what he's saying or if he said that he looked at my answer but we didn't.
Deja wasn't quite convinced, so the next tactic was to minimize the impact of confessing.
I don't know exactly how it happened. I just know that we've got to figure out the best way forward.
This is so weird.
I don't know exactly how it happened. It looks like information sharing. If you just tell us that happened, then what we can do is I can call the director back and say that you guys are cooperating, and I know him. That's the best thing.
Okay, I mean, it's not true, but I'll sign it.
Okay,
Man, bro, this shit is so fucking law. This shit is like so fucking law, bro, because so many of our people is fucked up in that place, been in that place, might have got out that place, but they was falsely accused because they just thought that I can just say this or say that to get me out of this situation, but the whole time them dirty bitches playing on your T-O fucking P, man.
sign and date it. I can go and call him back, and I'll try to get you out of here.
Okay. That's very weird, but...
Man, now if this was jail, you done signed your fucking life away, man. Look, she know it's wrong. Man, the moral of this story, bro, don't sign or don't go for shit that you know you didn't do, bro. Don't give a fuck. Fuck it, we'll go to trial, bitch. I'd rather take my chances with 12.
So you did an excellent job of communicating to her that it was in her best interest that the best way out of this situation was to confess.
But it feels so bad. I mean, she knows the seriousness. She knows that it's a lie.
I mean, I didn't cheat. I did not cheat. Those were all my answers.
Come on, gang.
Hi. Okay.
This make us look so bad, bro.
This concludes the study. I'm gonna give you a debrief now to tell you about what we're studying. So, first of all, you're not in trouble. The other guy here works for us. This is not a study of logic problems. It's a study of interrogation and false confessions.
Good one.
You falsely confessed today.
I see that.
How do you feel?
How the fuck do you feel? Because you played your fucking self.
Like, you know, just sticks to what, you know, is right. I tried to at least.
So what happened today?
It was just scary, I guess, because it's an environment I've never been in before.
Oh, God.
And then just, like, all the pressure. It was just like, oh, well, I guess I should just sign it and see that I did it.
Despite knowing she was innocent and knowing that she was admitting to breach.
Man, this like I say, this shit is a prank. This shit is just some shit that they just experiment playing around with. But this just shows how the fuck we get lost in the sauce, in the system. And man, we gotta stop doing that shit, bro. We gotta we can't be in that bitch. It's crazy. Another black person to see me and to kill me, fuck clean over me, get in the room with them white folks. Yes, sir. No, sir. Eyes did nothing. Yeah, eyes agree to it. Yeah, eyes did it. Shit crazy, man. Like, man, that's why I say Uncle Sam's curse, bro. That shit there.
The contract, Deja signed a confession that in a true criminal case could be used as evidence in
Her
a
ass
trial
would have been
against
done.
her.
Imagine if there were consequences and this was a real crime. How easy it is to get someone to confess to something without even punching them or waterboarding them, just being nice and telling them that it's in their best
finessing a
interest.
nigga.
Yeah. It's messed up, actually.
Isn't it?
It's really crazy. Because there's a lot of people in prison for crimes they didn't do.
You motherfucking right.
The Innocence Project, an organization dedicated to uncovering miscarriages of justice, estimates that 20,000 people are currently falsely imprisoned in the U.S. The number one cause is faulty eyewitness testimony, and the number two cause? False confession. Current interrogation techniques are unreliable. They can fail to produce truthful information from suspects who are good at lying, And perhaps worse, they can manipulate innocent suspects to confess to crimes they've never committed. But you're...
If you can prove this shit, why the fuck is they still fucking over niggas? Is the question. On G-O-D. Too Black, Too Strong with your boy John Don. Like, subscribe, stay tapped in. You dig?